opening up. This is our Q&A with Rebecca Lehman, and she has created a blog post that has some really good tools. I loved the post. I think that there was some excellent breakdowns of things that she uses that really help her business. And I think that all of us could probably benefit from finding tools that each of us use that way. So I really loved that, and I'm really glad she was happy to share that with us. So I'm going to turn the time over to Rebecca to give us just an overview and kind of go over her favorites, and then we'll open up discussion for everyone to talk about either the things that she has brought up or things that you have used yourself. So go ahead, Rebecca.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you again for inviting me to do this. I can talk, so tell me when to be quiet. This was actually a blog post that came about sort of one of those late night 9 a.m. thing or 9 p.m. things where I was sitting in the office wrapping up for the day and thinking back about a conversation I had earlier in the day with a vendor in town. He and I were meeting to go over a client project that we were going to collaborate on. And he was commenting on my notebook. And I went, oh, yeah, totally. I can tell you where I got that. It's awesome. I told him the name of it. And then I realized afterwards, I'm an Amazon affiliate. I should have just emailed him a link to that. And then I could have gotten my commission on that. So this is roundaboutly one of those listicle, affiliate linked blog posts. But it is full of all of those little things that you build up over time. All of, when you start a business, you don't necessarily think, I need to track down all these tools. There are all these things that you find organically over time. Like you had mentioned, needing to turn a PDF into a JPEG, and these little tiny things that you have to do throughout your day that you don't really think about. But then if you actually stop to think, oh, well, yeah, I have to do this, and that throughout the day. There's a lot of tools involved in that. Some of these are technology-based apps. Some of them are physical things. So if you're interested, if you haven't already seen the blog post, my website is rchomedesign.com, and we'll post a link, I'm sure. And it's just the most recent blog post, Rebecca's favorite work tools, pretty straightforward title. So I go through real quick. First of all, obviously free tools are the best because we all like free. We can all bootstrap our way through anything. One of the tools that I use pretty much on a weekly basis is Canva, Canva. It is a website-based application for pretty basic graphic design and not Illustrator level stuff. But if you just need a really quick, simple graphic to go with, say, a Facebook post that says, win me, and it has a picture, and you just need to post that and put a caption, Canva is amazing for that. It has templates for clip art, text, fonts. They have stock images that are free. There is a paid version, but even after 4 years, 5 years almost, I still have the free version, and I can do 90% of what I need to do in Canva. You can also do presentations similar to PowerPoint. So if you don't want to pay for the full Microsoft suite, you can do PowerPoint presentations through that. Next up, and a lot of us probably use this, is Google Calendar. I don't know if iPhone has different things, but I'm a Samsung person and I use Google Calendar. It integrates with my website, which is Wix. I had the ability to interlink those two. So for booking, I could do that online. And then I've recently added another tool that also integrates with that Google Calendar for online bookings. But also I keep my personal life entirely on there. And so I can keep track of all of my day-to-day, when I have kid stuff, when I have work stuff, and then it's linked so people can book my services as well. Clockify, my business is entirely based on hourly consulting. So if I'm not tracking my time, I'm not getting paid. So it's just a simple little app that I have on my phone. Essentially, it's a stopwatch, but you can label and track your time, and you can say, I'm working on Bob's project today. You hit start, you let it run in the background, you hit end, and then you've got that record. So at the end of the day or the end of the week, you can sit there and log it wherever you need to. In my case, a lot of times it's posted that I just stick to that client's file folder. And then at the end of the month, when I'm doing my bookkeeping, I have that record and I can put together their invoice.
Is that free or?
Clockify was a free download. Again, I think there is a paid version of it where you can really go in depth with different projects and breaking it down. But for just keeping track of, hey, this was Bob and I spent 2 hours on it, totally free.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm horrible at tracking time, so exactly. I just need the basics.
Yep. And like I said, I'm old school. I still stick that posted on top of the person's file folder, and at the end of the day or week or whatever, I transfer that over into my accounting software. But that for day-to-day, that's all I need. Next up, Facebook Business Suite. So love it or hate it, we're all on Facebook. 80% of my business probably over the last few years has come one way or another through Facebook, either through referrals, through people I've met, you know, it all passes through there, and you have to have that active business page. So I do, of course, have that separate business page from my personal. I also have a group as well, but on the back end, they've opened up, and I guess it's technically a separate app, but it's Facebook Business Suite, and it's that little like C logo. Anyway, if you're on your business page and you find that, that's where all the publishing tools are. So then I can take these images that I've created in Canva, upload them. I can schedule to both Facebook and Instagram, write out all my captions, which is so much better than trying to sit there and type on your phone, because Instagram, it's obnoxious. You can't do that stuff from the desktop version of Instagram, but you can do that on the back end through Facebook Business Suite. Scheduling out your posts, it's so much easier to type. And you can see your grid, you can see past posts, and really keep track of it that way. Same thing for Facebook. You can schedule in advance. You can go, I think, up to 3 months in advance. So if you've got, say, a lazy Saturday afternoon, you've got nothing to do, spend an hour or so, and I can book out a month or so in advance. And that way I don't have to really think about my business page as much. I can just check the notifications, but at least there's consistent posting going on. You know, everyone's going to tell you different things about Facebook. Depending on my mood, I'm anywhere between probably always 1 post a day, sometimes up to about 3. And it's just quick reminders, quick graphics of my image, of my business, reminding people, here's what I am, here's who I am, and here's what I do. Okay, so moving on to some of the paid versions. This, again, is another app, Tailwind. It has the option for either Pinterest or Instagram. You do pay separately for each platform, depending on what business needs you have. I use it for Pinterest because, as I said, I use Instagram through the free Facebook. Plus, I don't have Instagram, and I are not friends. I never know what to do. I'm in a very visual industry, and yet I still feel lost when I work on Instagram. So Pinterest, on the other hand, is pretty big for my business. People need to be able to find my information. I do a lot of pushing to my blog off of Pinterest, and Tailwind is simply a scheduler that allows me to keep that queue going. And again, you've got to be posting 10, 20 times a day. No one has time to sit on Pinterest and post 20 times a day for the algorithm to make it worthwhile. But Tailwind has that, you pick your posts. Some of them are yours, some of them are other people's, but it just keeps your account looking busy.
Is it kind of like a web crawler a little bit? Like it'll take it and just kind of keep.
It's almost more like a plugin. So when I go to Pinterest, in the lower corner, there's there'll be a little blue button, which is the Tailwind icon. And I tap that. So instead of just pinning plain old on Pinterest, I tap that, it routes it through Tailwind. So I can schedule it and add it to my queue. And so instead of me spending an hour and then I have, an hour of Tailwind or an hour of Pinterest one day, and then a month where I don't do anything, Tailwind spaces that out for me. So it looks like I'm constantly busy on Pinterest.
That is so amazing. I am so behind. I'm like, I'm a dinosaur.
And not everyone's business uses Pinterest, but for me, that's something I kind of have to be on. But it pushes traffic to my blog. So I'll use Canva. I'll create a pin graphic, link it to my website through Tailwind, and then 2-3 times a day, Tailwind will be making those posts, pushing that traffic to my blog. So
that is awesome. Okay, like I said, I'll shut up. Sorry.
Different, but if you need Pinterest, Tailwind really helps. Next up is the Adobe Creative Suite. Obviously, there's a whole bunch included in this: Photoshop, Lightroom. There's video editing software. I signed up for it for just the Photoshop, but it comes with at least trial versions of everything, and then you can pay a little extra for those. I think I pay $10 a month, and I have full access to Photoshop, full access to Lightroom, and then trials of just about everything else. Anything that I can't do in Canva, I can do in Photoshop. So if I need to take a background away from something, if you pay for Canva, you can do it there, but I don't. So I do that over in Photoshop. And then I actually use Photoshop for a lot of other things in my business, being a very graphic related business. So $10 a month, Photoshop's awesome. And then next, this is a newer one. I'm still learning all of the things that this can do. This is a customer resource management called Dubsado, Dubsado. They're out of Australia. I have no idea if that name means anything, but um, what it is it's a way to, I've switched away from using the Wix automations for booking, and I've started using this. So it has, on my end, I can put together lead capture forms, questionnaires, my booking calendar, which again is linked back to my Google Calendar. It's all on Dubsado, and then I take those links and embed those onto my website. So when a client goes to my website, they can fill out my customer inquiry, tell me all about themselves. I can send them a link once they've become a client to my customer style questionnaire that they fill out as we get started on our project. They can book certain services online, like a discovery call. If they're a local client, my wine and design service. I think I have my new home construction. I have a 5-hour package that they can book online, and then we do that via Zoom. So it also has contracts. It has, you can generate workflows or automations so that when they book, then they get an automatic reminder email, appointment reminder emails. You can run your invoicing through there. However, I don't. That's okay. I use Wave, which is another free accounting software, similar to QuickBooks, a little clunkier, but it's free, so you put up with it. But you could choose to run your accounting through there as well. They have invoicing. You can pay via Stripe or a few other methods. So it really is kind of an all-in-one customer resource management for all of that. And then you can track things by project, by client. You can even do customer portals. So if you wanted to, instead of just doing everything through email, you could set up a customer portal where they have access to log in and see their contract, any emails, all of their questionnaire answers. And then as the project is going on, you can upload files into that portal so that everything's kind of all in one place. As again, I'm still kind of getting used to it. I'm like 80% there. So but they actually have a really good, if you do sign up for it, they have a huge section of tutorial videos. They have like an onboarding program you can sign up for that's totally free. It takes about an hour a day for 2 weeks of watching these videos, but it walks you through the entire process of learning all of the tips and tricks and getting going. So
and it's Dubsado.
Dubsado, yeah.
Dubsado.
And all of this is on the blog post. There's links to everything. So, okay, so now moving on. The last category is the gear, and this is what started it all. This is my Rocketbook notebook, and I have had this thing for probably 2.5 years. I absolutely am in love with this. It's only about 30 pages, but the pages are entirely reusable. They're kind of a weird sort of a plasticky texture. You can kind of see I've got, there's a house or building right there. You use these basic Pilot Frixion pens, which you can buy at Target, anywhere, but they're erasable. So they got the little nub at the top for the eraser. You can write on your page, you can erase as you go. And then when you're done, I do this whenever I have on-site client meetings. I'll snap a picture using the app, because there's an app that goes to your phone. That turns it into a PDF file that I email to myself. I can email it directly to my clients. You can link it to different cloud services. At the bottom of the page here, there's little icons, and you can actually mark which icon you want. So you could have one for one email address, you could have one for your cloud, one for whatever. You can choose exactly where you want it to go. This thing is amazing. And then when it's all done, you just get a wet microfiber cloth, wipe the page clean, and you start over. Partnered with that is the day planner version. You can't really see it on the screen. It's kind of bright, but they have, it's a partnership that they did with Panda Planner. So it's both a day planner and also like a goal tracker. So at the very beginning, you have year at a glance. Then you've got 3 month at a glance. Then there's a section on goal tracking in the middle, about 7 or 8 pages of that. And then there's about 8 or 9 daily pages that you can fill out. I actually jacked mine up and I bought a plain notebook that I combined using the same spiral. So I have a section of blank pages at the end, and then it's all in my little holder. So I can track my calendar. I can take pictures if I want to leave my book at home and I don't want to have it with me, but I need to know what my month or my day looks like. I can just snap that again with the app, have it on my phone, go through my day, and then wipe it clean at the end. Because I'm still just old school enough that I like pen and paper. I like to be able to have that tangible
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, I tried using like the reminders on my phone. That's the one thing I don't use my Google Calendar for, is my reminders, because I just found that I was skipping them or pushing them off to the side. Whereas if it's in my written down to-do list, I'm much more likely to get it done.
I am a huge planner, and I like things on pen and paper, but I'm like, oh, what you just walked me through blew my mind. I love that, and I'm going to have to get one.
Absolutely. When I started my business 3 or whatever years ago, I went to Office Depot because I'm a office supply nerd. I bought a big giant box of legal pads, went through them all in that first year, and my husband introduced me to this, and it has cut down paper consumption like crazy. Which
I go through like notebooks, like no one's business.
But the nice thing about it too is that I always just have the one notebook, and then I always have that digital backup. I'm not trying to remember which thing I wrote which notebook on. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
The only downside is if I'm at a client's house, I'm like, oh yeah, let me write that down for you. Then I have to snap the picture and email it to them. So I do keep a pack of Post-its in my briefcase, so for those quick little things.
Just little things. Okay.
You know.
Oh my gosh, I love it, and I'm going to have to get one.
Tiffany's
follow the link on my blog. Yes. And of course, it comes with pens in all different colors. I have these sitting on my desk. I have a bag full of them here that I keep in one briefcase, and I just bought a third pack that's in my other briefcase because when I'm transferring bags, I don't want to have to move all my pens. But they come in all different colors. They're awesome. All right. And then, as we all know, gotta have the blue light glasses. So fingers crossed my vision is good for my industry. I need that as long as possible. So when I am going to be spending long hours at my computer, I do pull these out just to give that extra little bit of protection. My son loves them. He actually has a pink pair. It's hilarious, but they help. If you're staring at your screen, it does cut down on the headaches and just protects your eyes just a little extra bit. Okay, next up, my computer mouse. Now this is not for everyone. As I mentioned before, my husband absolutely hates this thing because it's just not his style for what he does. But for me, especially using Photoshop and a lot of those graphic softwares, the drafting software that I use, having the ability to move my mouse with my thumb instead of having to move my arm all over the place, it is huge. It saves all the muscles in my arm. I can get in whatever position I need, whether I want my mouse off to the side or up here. I don't have to have as big of a space on my desk cleared for mouse usage. It's awesome.
Was it a hard adjustment at first though with that ergonomic?
A little bit.
A little bit of a learning curve on that?
Just a little bit. It's really not too bad. It took me a couple days to kind of just remind myself of a few things. And there are different versions of this. I've seen one that's almost more of like where it scoops up and over and you kind of hold it like this, like a claw.
Oh yeah.
So, this is not the only one that's out there like this, but kind of like an ergonomic keyboard that's split in half. Find what works for you, but you're not locked into a flat mouse with a cord. So, and it's wireless. It's got just a little USB thing that plugs in. So that works great. And then last but not least, again, being an office supply nerd, my little Post-it kitty cat. Got the little pop-up Post-its.
That was one of my favorite ones on the post. I was like, oh my gosh, how come I don't have that?
Exactly. I think it was like $10. It's not bad, but it's nice. It's weighted, so it doesn't go flying across your desk whenever you go to grab a Post-it. And then it just has those zigzag pop-up Post-its. But because that is, like I said, the one thing that I need to supplement my reusable notebook is Post-its. So there you go. Those are kind of my daily, weekly use tools. So, and all of the links to all of those are on that blog post that'll be linked. So.
Awesome. That was amazing. And I am going to follow in your footsteps because I need that for sure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Tiffany, do you want to share with us maybe on the fly, just something that you like to use that's just changed work for you or helped?
With when I first started my job here, like a year and a half ago, we really didn't know what it was going to look like at all. And it has changed massively over the months, especially with like COVID. So I think I am kind of old school, like Rebecca and Molly. I do have like a whiteboard of like people that I want to focus on, projects I want to focus on, deadlines. And I also have a calendar that I made off of Facebook. So it's awesome. It has awesome pictures, but just dates. Like I need to have deadlines. I need to give myself a date or else I won't get it done. Um, and those are kind of the big things that kind of anchor me. I need that Rocket book notebook. Like I need it. So I will get on and order that immediately.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yay,
Yeah, I
converting more
think
people.
whiteboard. That's awesome. How about you, Tom? I know that you're kind of just tuning in, but do you have anything you wanted to share?
My office lady probably should have been on this instead of me. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm on a headset. So,
Oh, you're-
for us, everything for us is ran through Office, Task Manager, your calendar, and all that, because I need about 7 different people to see everything at any given moment. So, for us, everything is ran through Office and done that way. We use tasks a lot. It's how we lay out our daily, what we need to get done type stuff in the shop. So, but this was interesting. I'm glad I got on and listened to this. So,
Is that Office is it like Outlook or is it Microsoft, some kind of setup or?
yeah, so it's Outlook, it's Office 365,
Awesome.
but it's Outlook in that. So like the calendar and tasks are kind of the big ones that we use religiously, just because I need so many different people to be able to see Outlook and to be able to see tasks. It worked better for us. Kind of wish there was a different system, because it definitely has its limitations on what it can and can't do. So
Right. I have a thought on that, Tom. One of the things I wanted to
Go
share,
ahead.
I use Slack. And maybe I can just share the screen actually, because for me, I have used Outlook and I love the task. I love that in the calendar section, you've got your email, calendar, tasks, contacts, all of that is really beneficial. With Slack, it has so many integrations that you can say, I'm going to use Slack and my Google Calendar or my Outlook calendar or my Outlook tasks. And it helps us here at Infinger Insurance do a lot of management as to when someone calls, when someone emails, when someone comes in. It's just the seamless thing. And I can see exactly when someone is talking with someone else or when they last called in, like it's all there. And let me see if I can share that because share screen. Bam. Okay, we're going to share this one.
So is Slack more of a CRM type software?
Yeah, so we never found a CRM that really worked for us because of just the nature of how we do things. So we've used Slack, and we have all of us. I don't know if you guys can see this, right? Hopefully. Yeah, okay. So we have different channels of what we're monitoring, if we want to talk about our office meetings and our core values, things like that. But throughout the day, if you're working on a task, whether that's an email, text, phone call, voicemails, anything, we just write it here and say like, here's this voicemail from Chelsea. It was referred by this person. Here's what we need. Left a message, little check mark. Sarah's done it. It's awesome. We can talk to each other throughout this. We've got a general page that we are like, hey, I learned something new today. And so that keeps us all on the same page.
What is this called again?
This is Slack. And there's a free version of it, just so you know.
Oh, wow.
Because we like saving all the data. But then even in this corner, like right now, I don't know, in the right-hand corner, there's me, I'm active, and I have a little video thing on right now. So I can say, hey guys, either I'm on a call and I put a little phone icon. Right now, Sarah's at lunch. She has a little hamburger telling us that she's at lunch. And I can choose to be like, oh, I'm away. whatever works. So I don't know, that's kind of neat. I like the app. I like it on here. I like the little chat features they have. And like I said, you can add apps. So if you use your Google Calendar, if you use
Mhm.
Twitter, Zoom, all of these things, I think they have thousands of apps, just anything you use so that you can have like, oh, hey, there was a reminder that you have a Zoom meeting coming up. And then it'll automatically put like a little icon saying I'm in a meeting. And this thing's cool. So I wonder, I know, Tom, I love the Outlook because it's all in one place. And I hate having more systems I have to go into. But this was something that I've loved. I love that we discovered that.
That is cool.
Interesting.
See, and
Yeah. Go ahead, Rebecca. Yeah.
I was just gonna the one caveat with Dubsado, it is a CRM, but it is very much geared towards single entrepreneurs or kind of one person offices, and that is kind of one of the limitations of it. So a lot of people like myself, creative entrepreneurs or designers, a lot of like event photographers, those types of services use Dubsado, but for a larger group setting where you have multiple people communicating, I have heard that there's definitely limitations with that. So Slack sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And that's one of our limitations that we've got into is, I've got, I need 8 people right now to be able to see my stuff. And by middle of summer, I will need 15 people to be able to see everything. And it's just, we've tried a couple of those smaller ones and they didn't work. And we're not big fans of Office either, because it definitely has its limitations, but at least right now it connects through, Word and OneDrive, where we keep all of our documents and, everything that we need to be able to see. And that's kind of why we've stuck with Outlook in that, because it's, we're so linked to Excel, Word, and all that. It just feels like they've got you trapped.
Right. Right. We're very Google based. I think, Rebecca, you were saying you have a lot of Google. We use everything, Gmail, Google Voice. We use Google Drive for our Excels, our documents, PowerPoints, forms. So it's kind of a similar thing to the Outlook where, I mean, everything is together there. All of us are under the same user and we're just viewing it that way. And Slack is how we monitor who did what. But the documents and everything are all stored there. We use Gmail alone to be like, did we get this paid? Was this application submitted? But that's because I think that's where we started from, that it makes it easy now. Whereas if you are in Outlook, that's where everything is backdated. Even with Slack, we only started this last spring. And so our notebooks, we had notebooks, physical notebooks of like even just January through March 2021, and you'd have to go back through these notebooks and pages and find the dates. So that was a good thing that we switched. But I can see where if you already have everything in that solid Outlook's, I guess, platform, it would be really hard to break free of it. So, anyone else have any tools they want to? Oh, sorry, Tom. Go ahead if you want to.
No, I was just gonna say that's kind of our biggest problem right now. Is I would love to switch from something, but we have so much saved in Word and Excel and all that. I'm just not computer enough to probably move everything out of OneDrive into Google Docs or whatever Google's, back end deal is. And we've tried some different CRM softwares and they just didn't work for us. So
I can relate to that for sure. But awesome with the growth though, Tom. That's so cool. I mean, you're pretty much doubling.
Yeah, it's a crazy world.
Tom's doing pretty well.
Not to jump off onto a different subject, but that's more contributed to you guys down there, Tiff. So maybe you guys should buy Slack and tell me how it works, and then you guys can update it for me. So
okay. I'll be your research guru.
Tiffany's got homework.
Well, guys, I've got a interview that I've got to conduct with a company across town, so I've got to get off so I can head on over. But it was so awesome. Thank you so much. I always enjoy these meetings.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Rebecca, it was amazing to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay, bye, y'all.
Hi, Tiffany.
So do you guys do more of these? I mean, this is the first one I've ever got on, so.
We do. I have been terrible. I moved last month and I was living in my in-laws' basement for a while. There's been this weird thing. So now I'm in a house, there's no decorations, but I do have more. There are more scheduled. In fact, next month we have a financial advisor that I'm friends with, and he's going to give us some info about retirement planning, both for business owners, single business owners, employees and such. And so I'd like to do a ton of these, Tom. And if you feel like you're like, you know what, I would love to discuss or lead discussion like Rebecca did, then yeah, totally come just message me or let's figure out a topic you want to just talk. And I think all of this is really beneficial to people having these posted. I think it may open some eyes, and maybe not all of them are like hitting the spot for everybody, but I mean, just like with Tiffany, she's always, oh, that was a great idea. She's great at giving that feedback. So yeah, we need to do more. I think we've only done about 3 or 4.
Well, it was nice to hear from Rebecca. That was, like I said, it was interesting. I've told Carrie though several times that there are, wondering, what your guys's plan was for all this and stuff, because I've been kind of just following quietly and stuff. I don't know if I want to give any presentations. I don't want to. I probably don't. I don't talk in front of people very well. But boy, I'd have a lot of ideas that you guys could come out with. So.
Oh yeah, shoot them over. We can always look for a specialist in the group, and they're almost all the time willing to be like, yeah, let's just do it. It's 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm with you, Tom. I am not a get in front of a video person. I'm not I don't know. I'm just not one of those people. But so this has been a real growing experience, and having awesome people like Rebecca on here, it's just makes it a lot easier. So.
Well, I would say that if you got me one-on-one, I'm a fanatic about business. I'm a fanatic about processes and procedures. I just, in front of a big group, probably don't perform very well. So, but sure interested to see what you guys come up with next, and would love to get back on and listen to some other people talk. So,
thank you, Tom. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, any other last thoughts from either of you before we wrap up? And then, yeah, excellent. Okay, and yeah, I'll go ahead and share this. Thank you guys for coming. Absolutely. Tom, send me some ideas of things you'd love to discuss. I'll find some people. So.
Okay, sounds good. I think I'd like to come up and maybe see you. I don't mean to carry the conversation on very long, but because you're up in Great Falls, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Would you mind the next time I'm up business? I venture up there quite often. I'd love to stop by and see you. I'm highly interested in what you've got started here. So
you bet. Yeah, you let me know. I travel to Helena. I think my next one's Kalispell. So I travel week to week. So sometimes I am gone, but we can plan something and I'll meet you up there. I'm happy to. Yeah, I love connecting. Okay. I'm not a great.
Well, if you come,
I'm great at connecting.
Okay. Well, if you come up to Helena, I would. I'd love to go eat lunch or something with you. And like I said, I'd absolutely highly interested in what you got started on Facebook here. So.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Okay. Carrie's in Helena too, right?
What's that?
Carrie's in Helena over there too, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, she and I have a lunch planned eventually here. Now that I'm settled, yep. So we may need to do that. That'd be fun.
Sounds terrific. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.